What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with none other than the Persian Wolf and the reigning Arnold Classic champion, the former Miss Olympia, the man who has the best chance of beating Derek Lunsford this year, and also the man who is winning in 90% of the predictions, Hadi Choopan, who is already in the US at 6 weeks out mark. So Hadi was eager to get his first workout in as soon as he was off his flight. So even that 16 hours flight, that just could not keep his energy down. I mean, those are 200-pound dumbbells that Hadi was wearing right there. And Jay Cutler left a comment in sort of a disbelief that how can Hadi be this strong after Super 7s? I believe by Super 7s, Jay Cutler is referring to those FST7 type of training that Hadi Rampart makes his athletes go through when they are prepping for a show. So it is no surprise at all that Hadi asked for a heavier dumbbell than 200 pounds.
Panada 198. Normally Panada goes to 132, but Rudy made special big ones. We get to knock the dust off that. He says send heavier ones. Eduardo, Rudy, you need to send heavier dumbbells for Hadi.
We all know he is one of the strongest athletes out there. The energy that this guy has for his workouts, that is freaking insane. So 6 weeks out of this year's Miss Olympia, and we are gonna see a lot of training content from both these guys, Hani and Hadi, and possibly Derek as well. And maybe a collaboration of Hadi and Derek training together, just like we saw last year. So Hadi getting to the US at 6 weeks out mark, and that too in such a phenomenal condition. That makes one thing very clear, that Hadi is going to be well settled by October. And chances are, they are going to bring that same Arnold Classic Ohio conditioning, because Hadi doesn't need to get any bigger to fight for the title this year. But still, do not be surprised if he is still a little bigger than what we saw at this year's Arnold. Next up is the 6 weeks out physique update of Samson Dao, the Nigerian Lion. Yet another back update, which shows Samson's confidence going into this year's Miss Olympia. So we know he must be looking really great from the front and from the side as well, because he has always been spot on in those areas. The back is where he needs to excel the most, and that is a different version of Samson Dao loading right now. So I'm not gonna say we haven't seen those lines on his hamstrings before, but I will definitely say this, that we haven't seen them at 6 weeks out mark of any of the shows that he has done in the past. So he has got plenty of time to dig deep, to tighten up, and I'm telling you guys, this one is really personal for Samson, because of all the negative comments that he received after this year's Arnold, and all the trash talk that has been going on, and that too for quite some time now. And the only way to respond to that is to come in better than ever, come in at his all-time best, and just let his physique do all the talking. So we know there is nobody out there who makes more improvements in terms of size from one show to the next than Samson Dao. And we are watching something similar this year as well. Just take a look at the width of his backlash spread from Ohio prep to this Olympia prep. He has more detail, more density, and he's tighter in terms of conditioning as well. Not to mention he looks so much wider. So will Samson win the Olympia title this year? Especially if he brings his all-time best. Well, the thing is, we cannot be sure of that. But one thing is certain, he will be damn proud of the look that he's gonna bring. And also proud of the team that he's currently working with, especially if he beats all his previous looks that he brought with his former coach Milo Sarcev. Next up, we have another 6 weeks out physique update of Akim Williams. So he's doing both versions of that front double biceps, the one with the crunch down abs, and the one where he's standing upright. So what do you guys think? Which one looks better? So I'm gonna say why not both, just like Nick Walker was doing at his last Miss Olympia. So this is such a great look for Akim at 6 weeks out of the show, because he isn't one of those guys who is hot and 20 weeks out of the show. He is one of those guys who changes so much, especially in the last couple of weeks. And that is actually where he dials it all in. And the last few shows that he did with his current coach, Chris Aceto, they are a proof of that. I mean, we just saw how much he changed in just 24 hours, from the Arnold prejudging to the finals. So no one is talking about Akim Williams as a contender for the top 10 finish this year. The one criticism that he gets, and that too all the time, is about his back, specifically his back double biceps. Now we know all the bodybuilders have some weaknesses, but the thing is Akim loses so much ground in that back double biceps shot. I mean, he loses that pose by quite some margin to all the potential top 10 guys. So for Akim to make a case for him to finish in that second call-out, because realistically speaking, that is what they must be aiming for. He needs to be super sharp. He needs to be in the conditioning of his lifetime. Now, after watching his performance at this year's Arnold, I certainly believe he can beat his 2020 look, which he brought at the Olympia stage. That was the best look of his entire career. Unlike other competitors, who have started to suffer hard at 6 weeks out of the Olympia, in order to get really ready earlier, Muhammad Foda and his coach Stefan have different plans. So Stefan must be extremely confident in Foda's ability to get truly shredded and peeled in just a few weeks' time. Because these new physique updates that just came out today, Foda is still eating plenty of food. They are trying to come in bigger for the Olympia this year, compared to what we saw from him at this year's Chicago, and giving us a presentation of what it means to grow into the show. Now, Foda already had extremely impressive size at both of the shows that he did this year. Chicago Pro, where he won his Olympia qualification, and then Tampa Pro, where he placed second behind John De La Rosa. Now, I have to say, if his back was only like 10% better, or what it looks like right now, people would have been putting him in their top 10 Olympia predictions for sure. Because from the front and from the side, the guy has everything. The size, the shape, the flow, the aesthetics, plus the conditioning as well. So Muhammad Foda has already accomplished his goal that he set out for this year, because he was struggling to win his first pro show since 2021. And not only did he win this year, he also put himself on the map big time. So Tyler Mannion said that it will be really interesting to see how Foda compares with some of the top guys, especially in terms of the size that he carries. But at the same time, they just cannot afford to come in off at a big show like the Olympia, especially if you are a first-timer. That is absolutely non-negotiable for the judges. So what do you guys think of his strategy? And can Foda crack top 10 this year? It is extremely rare to see the former 2-time champion, the giant killer, Shaun Clarida, training in a tank top, especially this close to the show. But here he is right now at 6 weeks out, with his trademark grainy and hard look. So the reason Shaun lost the 212 Olympia title to Keon Pearson last year wasn't only because Keon made some big improvements. It was also due to the fact that Shaun wasn't as good in 2023 as he was back in 2022. He tried to come in bigger last year, but that also affected his waistline. And we all know, Keon has that super small waistline, and that really exposed Shaun in all of the front shots. And that is why the title slipped from his hands. So this year there is zero doubt in Shaun and Matt Jensen's mind that they are going for that 2022 look. So it is 100% possible that Shaun will be a few pounds lighter compared to what we saw last year. But he will definitely be more dry, more conditioned, and more grainier than last year as well. I mean, that is his only shot against Keon Pearson. So Shaun is gonna stick to his strengths. Now he has already achieved greatness in this sport. I mean, nobody in their wildest dreams would have imagined that a guy who is just 5'2", who made his Olympia debut back in 2015, he will become a 2-time Miss Olympia champion just in a few years. So Shaun has already cemented his legacy as one of the all-time best. So let's see what he can bring to the stage this year in 6 weeks' time. And also hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video. And smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.